Lifter April Hutchinson, who has also been forced to compete with biological men. Also with us, internist for Custom Care Medical, Dr. Frank Conchessa. April, what broke my heart, right, was when I saw Karini in that press conference after the fight. She's sobbing, she's feeling defeated, powerless. The other fighter against the Taiwan boxer, she too sobbing. I know you have felt the same.
Yeah, I woke up that morning just to watch that fight. I didn't sleep all evening, and I mean, I was in tears. I think we were all in tears watching that. You know, she should never have been put in that situation to begin with. And I mean, I know everyone's saying 46 seconds. I would call it 7 seconds, because as soon as she got that punch in the face, she retreated to her coach's corner. And, you know, the fear that she must have felt just walking into that ring. Now, keep in mind, right, she knew that was a man going into that fight because of all the hype that the media put out there. But keep in mind, these females going into these sports, whether it's the Olympics or my federation, there's no disclosure. We have no idea if we're going to be competing against a man. So they don't have to disclose that information. Same along with these genetic tests. People are wondering about these tests that the ISB did. They don't have to disclose these medical records. These XY chromosome tests that they have released, that is all they have to put out to the media. It's pretty simple, people. XY chromosomes, nothing less, nothing more. They don't have to disclose anything else to you. So don't be asking for anything else, because it's pretty simple. XY chromosomes, they are male boxers.
That's it. Now, doctor, talk to me about how one fails a gender eligibility test when it comes to competing with women. You just heard the Olympic official say they're not transgender. I've also been reading reports. They identify as females, and they're calling them women, right? And they're putting them up against women. But how can they be women? As April's just saying, I mean, if they have XY chromosomes, I mean, that is simple science, no?
With you, Lydia, and it does seem a little bit confusing, doesn't it? And I think the problem, as I understand it, beyond the social ramifications and the controversy, is that there's no codification on the rules here. So the Olympic Committee, the International Olympic Committee, the IOC, has a different set of rules than the governing bodies of boxing, and nobody's agreed. And what the Olympics did was they said each individual country can decide on their own who's a man and who's a woman, and that's unsafe for the women who are competing against these people. When you have a genetic differentiation, the XY, as you talked about, you can have a difference with the external genitalia. Now, this is rare. Traditionally, they were called hermaphrodite or hermaphroditism. Now it's called, intergender. And the rules are different no matter where you go. So an athlete like my co-guest here has no idea who they.
Oh, we just had we froze right there. But he was talking about being intergender, intersex, so you can present as a female, you can present as a male, but have different DNA that doesn't correspond technically with your genitalia, but that doesn't really change how strong you are and your chemical makeup and your hormones. Now, April, talk to me. Why don't more women like you, like myself, why not everybody just say, I'm not competing? How about that? If everybody just stuck together, this nonsense, this craziness would all end, no?
Yeah, you know, and I hear that all the time, and it is so frustrating. And, you know, all I can say is, you know, for example, I went out to a rugby team 2 months ago, and we had 6 rugby players that wrote to me and said, please help us. We do not want this man playing on our team. We went out there, but guess what? The federation said, if you speak up, you're going to be suspended. I'm sure you know my story. I was suspended for 2 years because I spoke out about a man competing in my federation. So I was the only athlete worldwide that got suspended for speaking up. So people will remember my name and they'll go, well, I don't want to get suspended. So women are silenced out of fear. You know, they don't want to get suspended. So how do I convince a whole rugby team of players to speak up? So first of all, that's not my job. But, you know, for me, individual sports, you have to convince all these women. I mean, we should not be put in this situation. The policymakers, the IOC should be stepping up and protecting these women. First of all, we should not have to be put in this situation. The policymakers, the governments should be doing this, not the women. Why? I feel like it's almost like gaslighting. There's so much misogyny going on right now in the world. So not only do we have to compete with men, but now we have actually men and women out there blaming the women that it's our fault that this is happening. It's just, it's sickening. It's so disgusting, honestly.
It really is. We have less than a minute left. Dr. Contachessa, it's not really about chromosomes, right? Talk to me about just the major physiological differences that makes it unsafe for men to fight with women.
Sure, Lydia, and it really comes down to testosterone. Testosterone causes increased muscle mass, increased strength. You can carry more oxygen in your blood. The nerves fire faster. They just perform better. And this is the reason why, taking exogenous testosterone is banned in professional sports like baseball and football and basketball, because it makes people perform better, whether you're a male, whether you're a female. So anybody who's gone through puberty as a male and been exposed to male level testosterone, no matter what you're identifying with that day, you're gonna perform better than somebody who went through a female puberty.
We're going to leave it right there. Dr. Contachessa, April Hutchinson, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.